So we are going to get started. First, let's do some introductions. I am Rachel, the content director and travel influencer at racheltravels.com. And these are...
I'm Eric Martin. I'm a co-founder of Black and Abroad. You see me around.
Rarely.
Right. What we just talking about not seeing
Catch me somewhere.
And then, of course, it's Kent, I guess, the formerly described face of the brand.
The face of the brand.
But that's not true.
Right.
And we are the Layover.
Yes, so we did this last month and we had such a good time and such a great response and amazing engagement. So we decided to do it again, and we're just going to start doing it monthly to answer lots of questions that you guys have, because everyone wants to know what we do, how we're able to do it, to answer any travel related questions. So we are here as a resource for you and to just talk about anything travel related. So as we go along, ask us any questions and we will try to answer them. But we do have a couple topics that we definitely want to discuss and that we'll get started. But we'll just kind of be really organic and fluid as we go along.
Yeah, we freestyling with y'all, so.
Off the dome,
Keep
straight up.
Keep them coming.
Yes, and make sure that if you're on Periscope watching us, that you show us some love with the hearts.
All the hearts.
Yes.
Just keep tapping.
Keep
tapping that little
Tap it
guy
if you want.
at the bottom right hand side.
And we also want you to share with your Facebook followers and your Twitter followers and your Periscope followers as well. If you're watching
Facebook.
Yeah, and if you're watching on Facebook Live, make sure you do the same thing. All right? And if you happen to not be able to watch the whole thing, you can catch us on a replay.
We're going to post them.
Yes. And
thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you. All right, so the first topic today is, it's twofold. So, travel shaming, which is something that we've all seen kind of jump up recently as far as the Black travel movement.
Thank you for sharing. So, can you define what travel shaming is? Like, what do y'all think travel shaming is?
It's kind of like, it's in the simplest way, it's just looking down on somebody else for not being able to experience the same travel experience you have. So, if you've been to Europe and it's like your cousin hasn't, they rather go to Charlotte to see IAA or something. You can't look down on them for doing that. So that's pretty much the.
Yeah. All right, I agree. I think in the Black community we see shaming in a whole bunch of different variations. The travel shaming that I've seen, I'll use this as my definition, is, for one pair of Jordans, you can go here, you can do there,
I hate when people do that.
You can backflip off the Eiffel Tower.
That's not cool, y'all. Don't do that.
See, I'm kind of opposite because, and not saying that I'm like, you get these Jordans. I personally feel, I don't like when people come to me and say, how are you able to travel so much and how are you able to do all of these things and I'm not able to?
That's like the inverse travel
So it's like the inverse, like you're able to do all of this, but I'm like, well, if you look at how much you spend on Jordans or how much you spend on weave, you could have gone on 2 trips, and I'm here for weave. I will never.
People need weave is necessary sometimes, so you can't.
I'm here for it.
That's weave shaming.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I'll say if you look at how much you spend on certain things, I'm spending about the same, if not less, to experience. Look, I'm here for weave. You know what I'm saying? But I just look at it as if you look at your expenses, then you could have this experience as well. So to say for those Jordans, I went to Colombia, it's true, but don't look at me and say, well, how are you able to do this? And I'm not, when you have the ability as well. So
yeah, and then in the same token, you can still do both. Like you can buy Jordans and you can travel.
And have weave.
And have weave. And maybe something else that rhymes with weave if you want that too. But it's like you can do all that you can do all that and you can still travel. So I hate when people try to, I see memes on Instagram and Facebook. It's like $12.99 for a meal at McDonald's, $250 for a pair of Jordans. That could have been a ticket to Tahiti. It's like, come on, we can still get our Jordans at our McDonald's and go to Tahiti if we want to.
And SD Lust for Traveling brought up a good point. I think we're going to get into this. That our job is to inform people, but we have to be careful on how we do that, and that's what I wanted to speak to as far as travel shaming, because I realized not too long ago that I was doing it indirectly, and I had to check myself because I was informing people in the wrong way.
Okay.
So an example of that would be like a good friend of mine had a trip to Johannesburg, and before he was going, he was asking me a lot of questions about like when shots and how much is this, how much is that, and we were talking about the things that he and his girlfriend were going to do there, and it told me that they were doing a tour of like Robben Island and Table Mountain, and he told me it cost like $400, and I'm like, yo!
Stop!
Don't do that. How could you possibly pay $400 for that?
Yeah.
Look, I can find somebody do it for $20
Right.
and take you around. And I realized, I had to take a step back and realize that, you know, not everybody travels in the same
type of way, right?
Right.
Or know where to find the resources as well.
Right.
Part of it is like, you know, using Google sometimes for simple things. You know, they're always going to try to sell you their most expensive packages when you're going somewhere because they know you got the money. You're American or whatever, so just Google, you know, and going into the forums and stuff like that. Even with no madness, like you know, that it's a lot of helpful information that you can get from there without even.
And some people will pay for the convenience of not having to go look for that stuff. If just the first Google result that I see when I put in Cape Town tours, and I'm gonna go with that. And it's done.
The reviews are good. It's here.
And when you get there, it's gonna be you and 40 other people in a herd trying to get through the city.
But
with a tour guide waving a bottle of water up. So
like that flag you're trying to follow, right? And I think that kind of gets to the point of your travel style. I think it's really important to understand what your travel style is. And I know y'all have heard me say it before. I don't really like group trips because I have a very specific travel style. I know what my travel style is. I know that I like authentic experiences. And some people don't really like authentic experiences. And I'm a real big fan of Airbnb. So I like staying in the neighborhood, walking around the neighborhood, eating the local food, drinking the local beers, you know, that kind of thing. And getting a taxi, getting really cool with the taxi, and having take me around everywhere. A lot of people, like you said, will much rather take the tour and be with the herd and the guy with the flag because it's set up for them. They don't have to really worry about it. They know they're going to go. It's time. They know they're going to go to a restaurant, and they kind of know how much it's going to cost. So I think that's very important as well, is to understand which
lane is yours.
For sure.
Yeah.
And some people, even though they may be travelers of the world, have a fear of the world still.
Yeah.
So, you know, certain comforts that you may have hopping in a cab, somebody's like, oh no, I need a private, car.
A black car.
Yeah, like
I heard about these cabs over there.
Everybody has these experiences or hasn't had an experience like that, but they fear having that experience. I mean, we've all had moments where we felt like we might have got gypped.
Right.
Or,
like my first day in Cuba. I was like, if they don't get me out of here, man, it's kind of, I mean, I had to, you know, I of course got over it, and the next day was all good, but I think I went to go get like a sandwich or something. It was something real simple. It was late at night, I wanted something to eat. So I'm like, let me go ahead and, I thought it would be a good idea to do something authentic and get on one of those, you know, it wasn't a tuk-tuk, but it was like one of the guys riding a bicycle.
Oh, you in the back of it?
Yeah, I was in the back of it.
Okay.
All right, so we get to this sandwich place or whatever, and it's, mind you, it's maybe, driving is maybe like 5 minutes. But since I wanted to get the authentic experience, it took us almost 45 minutes to get there. This guy like biking the whole time to get there. So we finally get there, and we go back, and I think the ride ended up costing something ridiculous. Like, I think it was like maybe 60 or 70 coupe.
How much is that?
That's like equivalent to US dollars.
Yeah,
so it's 60 or 70 bucks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I said, all I wanted was a sandwich. Come on, man. He's like, well, it took me 45 minutes to get there. And I was like, man. So, you know, just be careful with all of that, you know, when you're out there.
And then if you are more of a seasoned traveler, be mindful of how you have that conversation with those who may be less seasoned than you. Because you don't want to turn them off from a place, but you don't want to come off as snooty.
And that's my challenge, because I guess I've been doing it for so long, and so it's second nature to me. So my thought is like, why don't you do all this research? Google is there. There's all these different resources. Why would you do, you know? And so that's my challenge, is to try to, you know, look at it from another person's perspective, because I do realize researching takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing the research, so it doesn't really bother me. But if you working or if you got a lot going on, you really don't want to take the time to like research the 5, 10 best things to do and the best, companies to go through, or how to find a hotel and which neighborhood to stay in, and all that kind of stuff. So I understand.
Yeah, and we were all there at some point, so
For sure.
we had to learn just like so.
And I had another moment, and this is when I was like, all right, it's enough, stop. So I think you may have saw it earlier this week, we were talking about it. It was a crazy flight deal from Atlanta to Athens for like $330.
Crazy.
So I do a trip with 2 of my close friends every year for 4th of July. And this year I'm planning a trip because the last 2 years we've done like all inclusive and I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So, so I was like, y'all, let me plan it. I got it.
Right.
I'm good. So the deal popped up. I hit them both up like, yo, Atlanta to Athens, 4th of July weekend, $330. Y'all trying to do this? We got to move in like the next 10 minutes. So I'm ready. I'm like at the page, ready to hit book. Then I get the, where are we staying? Like,
I
are
hate
we
that,
sure?
and I know I need to stop doing that.
Well, I'm trying. I want to hit Santorini. I'm like, Santorini is a 45-minute like ferry
Right
ride.
there, yeah.
Like, sometimes, look, we going somewhere tomorrow. We don't know where we staying at. Like,
Exactly.
Hotel Tonight sometimes comes in handy.
Right.
That's your friend.
Yeah.
Hotel Tonight, the app.
Or even getting there and just being like, look, I need this place to stay. You can get it cheaper. But again, if you're not a seasoned traveler, you don't know. And a lot of people, this is just a tip, just book the damn flight. You get 24 hours to decide if you really want to do it, if you can take the time off, if you want to find at least a hotel, just book it, because I've seen so many times where I'm posting a deal and people are like, well, where do I stay? And it's like, that's the least of your worries right now. Like, the most expensive part of a trip typically is getting there, and then the housing and the food and all that stuff will kind of like fall in place as you go along. So
yeah, because it's gonna happen. You get over there, you're gonna sleep somewhere.
Right.
yeah.
I missed out. Like it's funny. She just said get the ticket, book it, because I just missed out on that New Zealand deal yesterday, and
how you miss that?
Cause I mean I was like lollygagging and waiting. I got my credit card and I was like, oh, I get it. I had the screen up and everything, and it just people were moving too fast on that.
Yeah.
But the consolation for that is that a lot of people, they were refunding all those tickets. So
they did. They canceled.
It sucks for you guys. I was hyped for everybody who got that.
I know. It's like, dang.
Yeah, maybe next time.
There's always another deal.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, if I spent half the money you thought I spent, I'd be a rich man.
For sure.
On every trip.
Yeah, like,
Right.
I think total for airfare, I've spent under $800 this year, and I've been to 3 international places.
Yeah, I went to Australia.
Yeah, Australia, Guatemala, and Colombia, which is tomorrow.
And I think that also ties into the vein of travel shaming. Like, it's really, you can't shame somebody because it's not like you're spending all this money to get there. It's like the same people who you're shaming, you can help them get pay the same amount for the ticket that you paid. It's not a really big ordeal what you're doing. It's nice to travel the world or whatever, but if you see somebody that not necessarily think they can afford it, try to bring them along with you, because you only paid $200 for the ticket anyway.
Right.
You got 24 hours, so that's very important when it comes to the shaming. Like, bring somebody with you.
And you got to understand that not every hobby that you have is going to be somebody else's.
Someone else's passion.
So I don't see the importance of standing in line for Jordans, but somebody who is buying them as a
Jordan collector,
connoisseur,
or a reseller sees the importance of that. That's money for them. Travel for me now is money for me.
Right.
So I see the importance. I mean, I saw it in it before, but I really see the importance of it now. I mean, everybody has different hobbies. We don't shame people for wanting to sew because you like to jump
take
rope.
too much time.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know why. I think when everybody started getting to the travel thing, it became another way for us to separate.
Right.
Yeah, everybody. It's like you want to feel like you're better than somebody else. It's not even like that. It's not even about that, y'all. It actually shows a weakness, and I don't want to come off too preachy, but for you not willing, but for you not willing to, instead of shaming them, show them how to do it.
Right.
that's the problem now with like let's help each other with this whole thing.
With our community.
Yeah, with our community.
It's
just like
you're not traveling, then what you doing? Because you spending all your time popping bottles at the club.
Let me show you how to do it this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of that one bottle this weekend, we can go somewhere.
You can get a beer and then you can still get you a bottle, but not as expensive.
But yeah, exactly.
And that ties into the next segment. It's taking people with you. Less savvy, less savvy travelers. Because it's not being less savvy is not necessarily a bad thing if it's your first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I just got to experience that this past 2 weeks.
Absolutely, Jersey girl. When you know better, you do better.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. I need to like that.
Like it.
But I got the chance to take my mom abroad for the first time a couple weeks ago. And then right after that, I had a friend who wanted to go to Dubai for her birthday for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time abroad, twice. Two different.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Look at you.
Yeah, it was like I'm bringing these people. Like I'm not just preaching it. I'm bringing these people along with me, And it's funny because a lot of them already knew what to do when they got there. I'm like, okay, you take your custom form, you fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, boy, give me that. I know how to do this. I'm like, okay, go ahead, do what you got to do.
Right. And I think with me, like I said, I don't like traveling in groups of people just because of the diverse personalities per se. But if I travel with someone who is less savvy than me, I would want them to come with like a level of wanting to learn and be competent. And I think a lot of times people are just like, when I get there, I'm just gonna see what's what, and that's been my experience. And that's why I'm just like, I don't do group trips because you can't come here and not know, what the currency is, like basic things
you should know that.
Yeah, you should have just read up on it anyway. Like you don't know if you need a visa. Like it's 2 days before, and you're like, well, they say I need a visa. Did you not like read up on that kind of stuff? So if I go with people who are less savvy, I want to make sure that they're really interested and competent and done their own research before we get there, so we could just kind of get into the experience and not spend time on the little things.
You want them to meet you halfway.
Yeah, like just meet me there, and
like
then
I'm
I can
already
take
helping you.
Right.
Help me help you. Basically.
Exactly.
Well,
some people act like Google don't exist on their phone.
I don't know. Google is your best eat,
Right.
y'all. It's your best eat.
Yeah, it is.
When people ask me stuff, I say, hey, let us.
Did you look it up first?
Yeah.
That's what I usually say.
Let me show you what I'm
Well,
gonna
at least
do. I'm gonna go on Google and look up the same thing.
That same question you asked me.
What currency do they use? Like that simple.
And Google has a currency converter. You just have to put currency to USD or Canadian, whatever, and it'll bring it up right there, so you can get the real life.
Google has everything.
Yeah.
It has a translator that you can take a picture of something in a foreign language with your phone,
right,
and it'll translate the whole thing for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the map, of course, Google Maps, which works
out there, but you gotta want to look for it as well.
Right.
Because all of my homeboy was going to South Africa. All the questions he was asking me, if we on the phone, like CDC,
do I need shots?
Yeah, right. Do I need shots? Cape Town tours, I'm looking up prices, but I'm like, it's my job to help as a friend, but it's not my job to
be
your consultant.
Right, for sure.
You
ain't running me coins for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I try to help everybody, and I try to teach them how to fish instead of giving them the fish.
That's important.
Because it's like, I want this to not be your only trip abroad, so you want to get in this mindset.
This is what you have to do.
Yeah, get out of the mindset of asking me.
Right.
And get in the mindset of, catching the fish on your own. So,
sure.
It's something that I think we all deal with. And like I said, once I realized that I was shaming people, I stopped on that. And I was like, let me take a less abrasive approach. Because it can come off as really jacked up. Like, what? You don't know that? How dare you not know that?
All this information out here.
Right.
Yeah. So, those who are seasoned do better. Those who are on their way to becoming seasoned, don't
look to somebody to catch all the fish for you, because you got to show initiative that you want to,
The information is out there.
Yeah.
So can we get into the seat?
No. You can't get into the seat.
Okay. So this has been a topic of discussion.
Wait, before you say that, let's ask the people, what do y'all think is right? Leaning your seat back.
Don't use your thing first.
Okay.
Like be neutral about it, because you know how they try to. Okay, so.
Well, you phrased it.
Okay, so let's just say it like this. What are some of your pet peeves? Okay, when you're traveling somewhere on a plane for a long time.
Over 4 hours.
Over 4 hours, and don't just side with her, because I know y'all like her, and you're gonna say leaning in the seat back. No, it's other stuff like people that go to the bathroom all the time, that's sitting on the inside, and you sitting on the aisle, you gotta keep getting up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So what are some of the pet peeves that you guys have when you sit on the plane for a long time, and the person in front of you and the person behind you, just anything that they might do to tick you off?
Y'all let us know.
Yeah, like somebody who might put their foot in between your seat, and then you got their leg right here while you eating your food, like that kind of stuff.
What's proper flight etiquette?
Proper flight etiquette.
Yes. Let us know, and then we grabbing my seat to get up.
Oh, that is a good one.
That is
a good one.
Like
Yeah, I
your
like that
whole seat just kind of jerks back. You're trying to sleep.
Like you can't use your your guards or whatever on the side.
Somebody said reclining their seat and crying babies. Well, babies doesn't bother me too much.
Babies bother the hell out of me. I hate to say it.
They bother me too.
Put your seat up when your meal is being served.
So on the flight, on the Virgin Australia flight to LAX, the flight attendants were coming around and pushing people's seats up so that other people can.
Why they were asleep?
Like, no, you need to get up so that people can eat their snacks. Like they were about it. Somebody said kids running around and screaming. Like kids. So I go back.
You gotta get your kids. Get your
kids,
please, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, don't let them. I mean, if they cry, it's,
babies cry. I get it, but like, do something. You're on a plane with hundreds of people, and I just can't stand when people just let their kids just cry and wail and run up and down the aisle and spill cereal everywhere.
They had to move one of them on my way back from Mexico. They had to move one lady from the exit row because her kid kept trying to pull the emergency.
No.
Yeah. They moved her.
Now see that I don't. Bad kids I have a problem with. Kids who are crying because we're descending or coming down or because
that's understandable. I'm talking about demons. Like run up and
demons.
down the aisle.
Those I can't do. Oh
yeah, that one. The kid in the front who stands and looks over you at the seat. Or the ones who kick your damn seat.
I kind of like that. Cute. I like that kind of kid. The one that, they speak and wave to him and stuff. But the ones that's crying, I can't.
Or kicking. I had a little boy kick my seat and I gave him that I'm going to whoop you.
She gave him an ultimatum, guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to whoop you even if your mama's sitting there. Look, and you stop. Constant coughing, drinking water, cough drop, something. Oh, that constant coughing, especially if they don't cover their mouth. Yeah. That creeps me out. And if you go to certain countries, exactly, they don't believe in like covering their mouth. And so, for us, we're like disgusted. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then an airplane is like a toilet full of germs. Anyway.
Yeah, that recycled air, just back and forth.
And like, if you ever have some extra moments, linger on the plane. After everybody's leaving and they start to clean up and notice how they don't clean as efficiently as you think they do.
Thank you for the art.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw the meme where it was the girl who had her ponytail like hanging over the seat.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
And, like that's
like protection.
No, her hair was like over. So imagine like her hair was over someone's seatback table.
So I'm trying to eat, and I got your
she had long hair,
like
long
super long
ponytail.
hair, just chilling over the back.
Yeah.
That the constant get like so I was on a flight. The constant get up, but I was on a flight and I
walk the aisle. People who walk the aisles. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get up every now and then for circulation.
If you're in the aisle seat, that could be annoying.
Yeah.
And then do y'all like aisle versus window? No,
window.
See, I'm a window person.
I'm an aisle person, but I'm also not that tall, and I like to get up and I have to use the bathroom a lot, so I don't like crawling over people.
Okay, so I wouldn't want to sit by you on the floor.
Yeah.
Just like you wouldn't want to sit in front of me because I'd be like, excuse me, can you move?
Can we get into that right now?
Yeah, let's talk about that right now.
So we had this debate before we started about people who lean their seat back and who don't.
Okay.
So when people use your seat to pull up and get up, and other than elderly, okay.
even the elderly, depending upon how she pull it or he pull it, he might catch a fade too.
Because they pull it hard. They pull it harder than the young people.
Yeah, like
they're using all their body weight.
Yeah. So with Eric and I, Eric doesn't like when people lean his
back.
seat back.
And wait, let me play that up. You can lean back a little bit, a courteous lean back, because I like to lean back too. But when you do all the way like this, and literally your head is like in my lap, and then they got it like, when the tray tables come out, when you got your, I do work on the plane, so I got my laptop on the plane, and I find myself having to fold it all the way in like this, because literally the seat is back so far, and I'm like typing underneath, looking like this with the screen. It's not cool, people. Like, ask them, can I lean back? Ask them. Because some people going to say, well, I paid my ticket, and no.
I'm that person.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'm the person who says,
you got to be courteous.
This is my thing. A flight, you pay for real estate on a flight. You're paying for your seat. Your seat is prime real estate on that flight. And maybe because I'm not very tall, so I lean back, and every 30 minutes, I'm going to try to lean back even further if I can. I'm going to keep pulling it every 30 minutes to see if I can go back just a smidgen more. So, in my opinion, Eric, you tall, so why not?
What am I going to do? Do I have to buy 2 seats because I'm tall? She discriminating against tall people.
This is me, I would tell you, you pay for 1 seat. Exactly. But my thing is, like, you knew you was tall when you got on this plane, so why didn't you get an exit row? Pay for extra.
No, it's cool. Like, okay, I can sit. I'm not that tall, people. I'm maybe like 6'1.5", maybe. But I can sit in a regular seat. It's just that when somebody literally is laying in your lap, that'll have you like.
And I'm telling you that my seat, the seat I paid for, allow me to lay back and to lay back even more.
And then we talking about flights, international flights. Some of them last 18, 15, 16 hours.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be in a relationship with you, with you, the person in front of me, and the person behind me for literally like a day. So we need to like each other a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I might say, I might not like
food that they serving, but give it to you like, hey, here you go, just a little kind gestures. I think the seat might be one of them. My thing is, if they didn't want me to go that far back, they wouldn't allow the seat to go that far back.
Exactly.
So you blame the designer. Don't blame me.
Don't blame me.
I'm only using the full functionality of the seat.
Because I paid for it.
I had to talk to somebody and be like, just a little bit, can you just? And
she
was like, oh, okay. She was cool about it. No, she was cool about it.
Yeah, I would have been like,
I would have been that lean.
And I think her seat legit might have been broke.
Yeah.
I think the spring might have been legit broke on her seat because it wasn't. Hers was further back than anybody else. And I said, I know I'm not that tall.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been on a flight before. This guy was huge. He was like 6'7" maybe. And he was 6'7" and he was a bigger guy. And so the person in front went to go lean their seat back, and he was just like, nah, man, you got to move your seat up. It's hitting my knees. And the guy obliged, but had it been me, I would have been like, that's not my concern. You know you was big as hell, so why didn't you buy a seat where you either 2 seats or get the exit row or buy the extra leg room seat or get in first class? Because that's not my problem. You knew, and that's why I think like you know what kind of issues you got before you get on.
It ain't no issues. I'm just so happen to be tall.
Well, no,
that's not
I'm just saying. And with this guy, he was really, really big, and so if you get on, especially like one of these regional planes, I think it was like Frontier or something. Already it's like Spirit, Southwest, any of those kind of flights, the seats are already super tiny.
Yeah.
So why would you try to inconvenience me because it's hurting your needs? Like you already knew what the deal was before you got on here.
And then because the Frontier, they make you pay for the exit row.
Yeah, but
I'd be like, come on, bro. I'm on a budget. I can't spend all this money on each other all the time.
People act as if their plane is their home, feet out, leaning on the chair space, clipping nails. Oh yeah,
don't put your feet nowhere near
put
my
your
body.
Feet, on the headrest, like.
Yeah, don't put your feet right here or anywhere near the body. It's not cool.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Somebody did that, and they had to get a flight attendant to come and tell the person to move their foot.
Wow, I got a story to tell y'all. It's disgusting, but I have to share it. And I posted the picture on my Instagram. If you guys go to Rachel Travels on Instagram, you'll see it. So So my friend and
Keep it in
I,
glass.
well, he don't even speak English, so
Yeah,
you know. So we're coming back from Brazil, and there was these two Chinese guys, and we saw them on the way. They were on the flight to Brazil, and then we were on the flight back from Brazil. And the guy has this disgusting rash on his legs. It's just disgusting. It's oozing. It's red. It's pussy. It's gross. Long story short, as we are, I had to move. I thank you Most High, because the only seat that was available on the plane was next to my best friend in a different row. So I got an opportunity to move, but I ended up sitting next to him. So imagine we're on this tiny flight, his legs are like oozing,
like festering.
And I was like, if I have to sit here for 6 hours, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna pass out, right? Long story short, I end up moving my seat, but how about him and his partner are together, and he pulls down the tray table and rests his nasty, festering legs on top of the tray table to sleep. So his partner is in the aisle row, and he's in the aisle row, so there's a middle seat. So he opens the tray tables, put his legs on the middle and the aisle row tray tables with his disgusting rash on his legs. So the moral of the story is, take your Lysol wipes and wipe everything down, because people are disgusting. And the reason why I thought about that is because, you know, someone said they treat the plane like their home, clipping their nails, resting your legs on top of, you know, like people eat on these tray tables and they do work, and so you have this festering legs resting on top. Like, people are disgusting.
Travel with your antibacterial gel, like
your gel, your wipes. Take a little kit of stuff. Yeah. Oh, and that also brings me to, sorry. Are we on this? So someone asked about natural deodorant and natural remedies to not get sick while we travel.
Yes,
I like that.
And like, that's your space.
Yeah, I live by natural stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like bentonite is one of the things. Bentonite clay
protector on flights. What's air protector? What's air protector?
Is it like a spray?
Stock on board your vitamin C before a trip, for sure. Yeah. Let us know what air protector is. I'm not sure what that is.
Is it like airborne?
I'm waiting for her to respond.
I know some people take like garlic pills.
You put it on your tray or headrest. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a cover. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you find that on Amazon, Jersey Girl? But I know, like some people take like garlic pills or fish oil pills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I take daily vitamins. So I just hop on those before I go.
And this guy was saying something about chia seeds, because they absorb water, and you know the water retention on the plane makes you bloated or whatever. So the chia seeds play against that. So I heard that was a good remedy. Drink water with the milk, because they can get caught up in your esophagus. But one thing that I like to live by is bentonite clay. Some people put it on their faces and their hair, but I buy a liquid form, and it's like you take it and it does two things. It neutralizes the pH balance in your stomach. So a lot of times when you get sick, you know, abroad, it might have something to do with the acidity, or, you know, like I guess when you get bubble guts, it's like super acid.
And the cooking.
Yeah, the
oils.
So it absorbs all of that stuff. It has a positive ionic charge. It has a negative ionic charge, and it most of the free radicals and things attract to it.
Oh yeah, oil of oregano is good.
I was trying to think of it. I'm glad you brought it up.
Oil of oregano.
I heard a lot of people saying that. I seen a chat discussion about like people to stock up on beforehand. I'm sorry.
No, I'm still listening.
So I actually rarely get sick abroad, and I just kind of attribute it just to having a pretty good diet and exercising and drinking water. And I do, and beforehand, but I do have like a kit, a first aid kit type of thing. But one thing and actually, I kind of got sick for a half a day when I was in Morocco in February. But I ended up just going to the pharmacy and getting like 20 antibiotics for $5. And so that's another thing you can consider. If you get really sick, the pharmacies there are amazing, and they have the same type of drugs for a fraction of the price. And the antibiotic I took, literally 30 minutes later, I felt like a new woman. and I just had to finish out the the treatment or whatever for 3 days, but I was fine. And I got 20 pills for $5, but I only need to take I think 6 of them or something like that. So also consider the pharmacy if you're into taking medication as a good idea. And if this is off the record, but even if y'all into stuff like Viagra or whatever, you can get that at a local pharmacy overseas for a fraction of the cost.
In Mexico. I'm not speaking from experience.
Well,
Yeah, he said no.
Not speaking from experience.
But if contact lenses, anything like that, so if you're into
they're not as regulated, the pharmaceutical
Right.
industry, and then a lot of places they're not. So.
One thing it's not necessarily a natural remedy, but I've started doing, especially since I've been having these really long flights, is compression socks. And
That's important.
I got some for like $20 on Amazon and wore them on my Australia flight, and it was a completely different experience. And your feet feel like they're nice and snug the whole trip, but I swell up on long flights. My feet do. So,
can you explain what compression socks are and the benefit of them?
yeah, so they're old people socks. So if you don't want to buy some, you might have to hit up your auntie or your grandma. She might have a pair on the low. But they and they're also good for fitness. But they use them to regulate blood flow in the body in places where you might swell. So you see some people have compression sleeves on their arms. A lot of people do the socks when they're doing long flights. So I noticed I was starting to swell up a lot. I'm always about salt intake. So before I take a trip, I don't eat a lot of salty meals.
Yeah, because salt can get you a little bit too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I try to eat something really lean, really clean before a long flight, so I have to deal with that. And then, you can get a kosher meal where it's not really salty. Avoid certain things like that. Because I was
That's a good
noticing.
topic too.
Yeah,
Kosher meal.
Choosing meals, yeah.
Choosing meals. When I got off the plane, that it would be hard. Well, when it was time to land, I'd be trying to slide my shoes back on, and it'd be like, nah.
Right.
I didn't have that issue at all with.
That's how mine looks too, like a baked potato.
Yeah, with the compression socks. So I highly recommend that. But the funny thing was, the first day I was in Australia, my hands were sore. So it was it just relocated.
Right.
Yeah,
from one
sausage
place. Yeah. So it was, my feet weren't killing me. And I was able to hop off the plane and walk around the city like it was nothing. So I definitely recommend that. And like I said, just killing salty foods, maybe the day of or the day before a trip. Also, I learned this last year in the DR when I was at one of the all-inclusive resorts. The bartender was telling us that the reason why a lot of people get sick at all-inclusives is because of the liquor. Usually an all-inclusive is at a tropical place, right? A lot of the drinks have coconut or milk in them, and coconut's a natural laxative. So when you getting all these daiquiris and tequila sunrises and all Miami Vice and all that stuff,
yourself.
yeah, you are making yourself bubble guts prone by drinking all of these free drinks. So
interesting.
Yeah, so he was like, if you're gonna go hard, stay away from the creamy
stuff,
coconutty drinks because it's a natural laxative. Yeah, so
And then,
or just be ready for a clean system afterwards.
True.
Yeah.
I always look at it as a weight loss.
Yeah, they were saying Jamina and Martinique was saying that guava is a natural laxative too. So a lot of those tropical drinks use guava as well.
Yeah,
there you go, folks.
Be
if
careful.
you want to have a natural movement, then
Do
go
that
on the coconut and the guava if you're overseas.
Yeah, because it seems to affect people different ways. Some people go places and they get really stocked up, and some people get a place they drink water and everything's flowing out of their body. So, I mean, part of it is learning how your body reacts to certain things and then countering it that way. And we spoke about the types of blood that you have and the diet
for your blood type.
Yeah, eating for your blood type. You should be flying for not flying, but preparing for flights for your blood type too.
Okay, but what happens if you're an adventurous eater? Some people like to go to Asia and try new things. How do you prepare for that? Are there any things you can take to prepare for that?
I think that one, I just chalk it up to look, I might be going hard later on. So I chalk it up to, hey, I'm in a new place. I'm gonna eat it regardless. I'm trying to deal with whatever circumstances come from eating, octopus eye. And
Octopus eye.
or something to that effect. So I just chalk it up to it's the experience. And this is a point where I also realized I was a travel shamer because I have some friends who don't eat nothing but meat, cheese, and potatoes. And that doesn't change where
I
they
dated
go.
a guy who was like that, and it used to get on my nerves.
And so,
Like, can we please eat something that's not rice and chicken and green beans?
He was adventurous compared to two of my good friends. Whenever we would go on a trip, they'd be like, "Yo, where the Chili's, where the McDonald's?"
Yeah.
Like, "Yo, we in Afghanistan. Like, why are you?
Right.
Why are you looking for a Burger King right now?" But that was a safe space for them, and I realized now that I was travel shaming them because not everybody's as adventurous in the mouth as some of us might be.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's important. Like know what you can eat and what you can't eat first, because you don't want your whole trip ruined just because you weren't prepared for that one ingredient. Like some people are allergic to curry. Yeah. Like I don't do good with
coconut curry. I don't know what it is about.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Cooked coconut, liquid coconut, like drinking it. What I learned last year I shouldn't have been doing. I can do.
You said you shouldn't have been doing it.
But coconut curry, like I can't do it. There's always some kind of issue with it.
Keep going, fellas.
So what about okay, so let's get back to the seat
That's
next.
your case. I'm sorry. We were talking about.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties,
Yeah,
but we're about to get it together.
We get it together. We working on it. The flight etiquette. It's the things we didn't address, y'all.
Oh, and so my story, my flight from hell. I was on my way back from Cancun last year, and the people, there was a couple next to me on the flight, and the wife suffered from anxiety attacks that would be triggered by flights.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, if you know that, you need to buy the empty seat next to y'all so nobody has to endure.
And you need to give her a tranquilizer.
Yeah. So I'm sitting next to her.
Right.
She
Said
like,
tranquilizer.
If you know you had an issue, I want to be either drunk down or high or whatever right before I get on the flight.
I was anxious from that flight because I didn't want her wilding out, jumping off. You don't know what
Having to
people
redirect the flight because she's going crazy and trying to.
Because they can do that.
Yeah, she did it. And then her husband's like, "It's okay, it's okay." It's like, I'm like, "No, you need to go a little bit harder with these pep talks. Like, calm her down."
Go in.
And then, but it was an annoying flight because I had that within inches of me, but then the flight attendants kept coming back and checking her every 15 minutes. So it was always kind of like this leaning over, and I didn't have a window seat. I had an aisle seat. So it was, I gotta get up, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh man,
Then
I was
she's
not
standing
over her
in line
so
for the
quick.
bathroom like 20, man, it was, thank goodness the flight from Cancun to Atlanta is not that long, but she was annoying as I don't know what. So, like, yeah, if you know that, like, take some Benadryl, get it in at the bar beforehand. That's one time where I will advocate heavy drinking before a flight. So
Right.
You cannot
If you
get
have issues with flying, then start off with short flights. But if it's a long one, do what you need to do. Take drugs. I mean, I ain't talking about those kind of drugs. But if
She's
that
talking
works
about
for
legal
you,
drugs, guys.
like a Benadryl.
Somebody said
anything.
she should have had a Benadryl on the rocks. Yeah.
Exactly, a Benadryl and a drink. You'll be out.
A Benadryl or like some Xanax rocks or something.
You know, another pet peeve of mine is if I'm working on my computer, right, and then somebody looking at the screen the whole time. I mean, I'm not doing anything. Being nosy, man. Come on, like.
Or you reading on your iPad and someone is like trying to read
like
what
that.
you're reading. Yo,
And then they got in some places they don't have no shame. They just like, I'm reading too. Whatever you got. Like that's not cool, man. Like just. Bring your own book or laptop.
I don't know if I told you about how Virgin Australia, they don't edit the movies on the flight. So I was watching Entourage and
DNA all
just itty bitty Liddy on the flight.
It was Liddy.
Every 5 seconds, I'm like covering up the screen. So, but I didn't sat next to people and they watching like old episodes of True Blood, and you know, like they used to get it in on that show.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yo, it's like a 3-year-old sitting right next to us. So I always say like, that's a part of flight etiquette too. Like, know your audience and who you gonna be in a relationship with for the next couple of hours.
18 hours.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna watch Debbie Does Dallas in front of
Debbie Does Dallas.
like a kid.
We're gonna tell you about that later.
Oh, like
We're gonna talk about that after.
Offline.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we all have our flight peeves.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the food though.
Okay.
So it was somebody asked the question: chicken, fish, or beef? On because they ask you that, you know, when you're traveling, like
or
vegetarian. You know, what would you do it and why? Which one would you do and why?
Well, I know people who
I'm play.
Oh.
I like broccoli, but I like steak.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat red meat. I might eat chicken and seafood every now and then.
Okay. No, for me, I know people who religiously like pick the vegan or kosher options because they feel like it's better food.
Right.
On the plane. For me, since we don't really get food on domestic flights anymore, I don't trip over it so much because the international flights I've taken, the food has been really good. Virgin Australia's food is trash. Sorry, guys. It's trash. But like Qatar Airways.
I was gonna say the Middle Eastern
it's always
flights have really good food.
Just like Nobu on the plane.
Yeah. Copa's food was pretty good.
Yeah, Copa's pretty good.
Who else?
Cathay Pacific has pretty good food.
Yeah, South African Airways food was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they have South African wine readily.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Stellenbosch wine is good.
So, but locally, I expect like peanuts and pretzels.
If that.
Yeah.
They're not charging you for chips or whatever.
And what I do is I'm the one who is breaking flight etiquette now because I'll be looking like I see the head of food, what it looks like.
Let me see what your food look like.
Yeah, because people can say chicken or fish, and it don't look like neither one of them.
And the vegetarian option looks better because it might be like pasta.
Right. Yeah, I choose that sometimes. I either choose that with the chicken because fish is perishable, so I don't get how they can mass produce it for a plane. That's one of the things that goes first, you know. So I always choose chicken. I never choose beef for some reason because I feel like it's never really beef. It's like a mystery meat.
No, I think it was Qatar. They had like some bomb lamb chops on the plane.
It was like they had the consistency of lamb.
No, it was good.
You gotta ask yourself these questions.
It wasn't lamb-esque. It was lamb. No, it was good. It was really good. But I think that was the only time where I've had like beef. Like usually it's like beef stroganoff or I mean this is your cook. You know, you're in first class,
potatoes,
and you getting like
real meals.
Like somebody parachuted down to your plane.
Like lobster, macaroni and cheese, and stuff like that.
Lobster, mac and cheese.
On the way to Australia, that's what they had in first class. So for me, I typically do the kosher meals because, and honestly, if you order like a specialty meal, you'll eat first. So if you order like a kosher meal or a vegan meal or gluten-free or whatever, they'll bring that out to you first. Or even like even vegetarian, if you specify it up front, they'll bring that out to you first. So if you want to eat first, then go for it. But I don't know, even with the kosher, I've gotten kosher too, and the chicken was dry. So then I'm kind of like, send it back, and I'll just ask for, you know, a chicken meal that they have or something like that. Or I'll do the vegetarian, which typically is like some sort of steamed vegetables or a pasta dish, something that kind of sticks to you and holds you out, especially if it's a long flight. So I like the vegetarian option.
Yeah, and this might be TMI, but I always try to avoid things that force me to go to the restroom on a flight. Other than something that I try to avoid going to the restroom and having to sit down in the restroom. So if I can eat foods where it's good, like the metabolism period is a little bit longer, especially on long flights. Like I'm very eerie about that too.
Like
somebody's nearby in Decatur.
Hey, y'all come say hey.
That's the person that said coming to the road early.
Oh yeah,
Avondale.
Street. Come out.
Come hang with us. We're at the Purple Corkscrew. We'll have a glass of wine.
But yeah, so that's what I try to avoid. So if I see like a pasta or something really cheesy, I'll be like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, I love it.
It's TMI, but I just hold it. I can't go to the bathroom on the plane. I mean, maybe.
Because then everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows. So if you drop a bomb, it's like they know I did it. So.
Yeah, every time you walk past you, they gonna
looking at you like, oh, that's the one who.
That's the same one that don't like to lean back.
Yeah, they don't like to lean back.
You don't like to lean. You wanted me to lean my chair back up, and he had a nerve to mess up the bathroom. Like, really?
Yeah, I won't do that. I won't do that. They had to turn the plane around. I was reading that they turned the plane around because somebody did that. Somebody used the bathroom, and the air is recycled.
Oh man!
So it was something going on with the sewage or whatever, and that one person who went right before they turned the plane around, got the blame for the whole thing. When it wasn't them, they were just the one who set the whole
flushed it and started off.
Yeah, so it was like that lady.
Like the side eye from everybody on that plane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, somebody had a question on Facebook about our opinions on global entry and whether or not it's worth it.
I think it's worth it. I love it. And the thing with global entry is every time that I put in my known traveler number on a domestic flight, I get TSA pre-check. So already it's like the best travel investment. And I think it's like $150 or something like that. $100, and it's good for what, 2 years, 3 years? 5 years.
Yeah.
See, so $100, 5 years, I get to do TSA pre-check, which that in itself has already paid. You know what I mean? And I live here in Atlanta, and if you've ever been to the Atlanta airport, it is a hellacious experience depending on what time of day you get there. So if you go through TSA pre-check, then it's like 80% of the battle of being at the airport. And then obviously when you land, you don't have to go through these long immigration lines when you're coming back from overseas, back home to the States. You just go to a kiosk, you plug in some information, and you're on your way. But it is kind of weird when you are traveling with people who don't have it, and you like zoom through, and you're like on the other side of immigration, you got your bag, and you're ready to go, and you have to wait another 30, 40 minutes for them to get through immigration to answer questions and all that stuff.
This is also why I'm team carry on, because the other thing that sucks about global entry is when you breeze through in like a minute, but then you still gotta wait for your bags.
Exactly.
So you sitting there twiddling your thumbs, waiting on everybody else at the bag. So global entry doesn't have benefit in that regard, unless, like I said, you've done carry on. So there was only one time where I had to actually wait for bags, and I was like, well, I should have just stood in line with everybody else. But like you said, pre-check is $80. So you might as well pay the $20 more and get pre-check and global entry. And if you look at it over the course of 5 years, that's $20 a year to skip the line.
Right.
On any flight you take. So if you take more than 2 flights a year, that's definitely beneficial.
Right, for sure.
Be careful though, because sometimes the moments when you need it most, the moments is when it's not available.
Because it's random. It's still random.
They call it random. I think they do it when they know you running late.
Right.
Because I missed the first part of my flight to Australia, running late. I wasn't running late. I had time, provided global entry was on my ticket. But because my final destination was an international destination, they have the option of putting it on or not. And for some reason with me, they always choose to not put it on when I have international. So I was going from Atlanta to LA, LA to Sydney. So since it was all on the same ticket, they didn't have it on there. And I didn't realize, I'm so used to having it all the time, I didn't realize it until I got to the front of the global entry line, and they were like, psych.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah, it normally doesn't work for international, which is...
It's never really worked for me, even with the connections. So I don't know if they had it for international.
I've always, when I'm chasing deals, usually the deal is in Atlanta, so I have to book a separate flight to get there. So usually I don't have any issues because I'm just flying to DC, I'm just flying to New York, I'm just flying to Miami on another airline, and then hopping on the actual deal there, so I don't deal with it. But that Australia flight, my feelings was hurt because I was really like, this one of the days where global entry is
really came in handy.
Really came in handy.
Until it didn't.
Until it did. And I missed the first part, but I almost didn't make it to Sydney that day.
Dang.
That's not cool.
But I did. But yeah, that's the one time where it sucks. So keep that in mind that usually it'll be on your ticket, but not all the time. And if your ticket has an international final destination, it's probably not going to be there. I don't think it's ever, but it probably just get there early.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
It's always better to be early. But yes, we love global entry. If you have $100 and you at least like to fly domestically and international, it's completely worth every freaking penny.
Yeah, it is.
And if you know you got convictions and stuff, don't waste your $100 because they're not gonna give it
Oh
back.
yeah, you have to do a full, like you go in for an interview, background. But it is a full background check. So if you do have other things going on, you may want to save your $100.
And they go through your past with a fine-tooth comb trying to find every little excuse.
And they find things you don't even know.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, and you have to go in for an interview, and it's like 3 minutes. Exactly. It's like 3 minutes long, but still, you have to go in there and, let them see your lovely face.
Most of the time, if you have some previous issues, if you are forthcoming about it, then you might not have a problem. But if they gotta point it out to you, and then you gotta go to the court, you get it expunged and all that, then
we're talking about global entry.
And a lot of people don't know that you can appeal the initial decision too. So,
finally, black people.
Boo! If I could block you, I would, but I'm sitting too far away.
Block it, fella.
But yeah, they'll let you appeal up to like 30 days after the initial decision. And a lot of times, if you appeal, it's really easy to get it done. But the whole process took me like 10 days from application to
interview.
Not even that, to like actually having the card in hand.
I never got my card.
You know,
they never sent it to me, but when I go on flights, I just plug in the number, so I never.
And you really don't need the card unless, the card does come in handy.
Said I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, my bad. Oh, we
good. Oh, okay.
We cool again.
Yeah, we good. Thought you were one of those bot people, those trolls that you have to block. I saw it. What were we gonna go to?
We're at an hour, so we're gonna wrap up.
So we talking about global entry. We about to wrap up though. Let's see what you guys talking.
Guys, let us know if you have any last questions. We are getting ready to wrap up.
Well, there was a question. Jersey Girl asked, what was our favorite destinations?
So I have 3 favorite destinations for very different reasons. South Africa is one of my absolute favorites. It's such a beautiful country. The people are amazing. And I found out later the reason why my mother and I really loved it is because we did a DNA ancestry thing, and maternally, so on my mother's lineage, we are from the region that is now South Africa. So it kind of made sense that we just kind of felt super connected when we landed, and the people, like I found a girl who she could be my little sister, like same body shape or same complexion, everything. And so that's why I really like South Africa. I love Curacao. I'm not a huge Caribbean island person, but Curacao is beautiful. People are nice, and there's like this amazing, not even a duality, but most of the people there speak English, Dutch, and the native language, which is escaping me right now. And there's like Dutch bakeries, and then you have like the African influences, the Creole influences. Sorry, we missed your question. Ask again.
Yeah.
And then Thailand, because I love Thai food, and it was a really good time. I spent 3 weeks in Thailand, so yeah, that's why. My 3 different environments, countries, totally different experiences.
Cuba is still my favorite, like so far. Even though Guatemala is shot, I really had a good time.
You guys made me want to go to Guatemala based off of the post and the pictures.
And they had another deal.
The preferred airline. Okay. I don't have a preferred. Whoever's the cheapest.
Right. Whoever got the deal.
I'm with it.
Even if it's Spirit?
No, see.
I don't have an issue with Spirit. You have to know before you go with Spirit. Yeah. You have to be mentally prepared for Spirit. Take your snacks. Take a bottle of water. You have to be carry-on. Or actually, it's cheaper to check on Spirit.
Yeah. Same thing for Frontier is cheaper to check. Now, I'll do Frontier. Frontier and I are good friends. Spirit.
I've only rode Spirit once, so let me stop acting like
I can't do Spirit, but
no Spirit. I like Delta. Delta's good.
Yeah, I like Delta.
Me too. But what's slowly becoming my favorite, at least for domestic stuff, is American Airlines.
Oh yeah, American's babe.
Yeah.
I like American.
Like in the last year or so, they've slowly become my favorite. Delta's like the standard, you know.
Especially here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Delta is king here.
So. Even though they never have any deals for us.
Which is crazy.
Well, I can break it down. I can tell you why. It's the tax structure here, and because Delta basically runs the airport there. So a lot of your low-cost airlines won't battle them here because
they can't.
They can't, and Delta would fight them price-wise in their respective hubs.
Mm-hmm.
So like JetBlue used to be here back and they left in like 2002. But
sorry, can you ask one more time?
They left because they were fighting back and forth with Delta for prices. So, I mean, we have Frontier, Spirit, Southwest is like our low cost here, but they don't go so hard on Delta because Delta's such a monolith.
It's the kingpin.
Yeah.
It's the North Terminal with all the other airlines, and then it's Delta. It's the South Terminal, the whole South Terminal.
But that's why you won't catch a deal out of Atlanta so often, because Delta is so heavily regulated in the tax structure, and because since they control the majority of the flights out of here, you won't catch them. But they do pop up. Like I got a flight from Atlanta to Hong Kong for $450. There were flights to Australia last week. Atlanta to Australia for
$663.50. Delta's good for me. Oh yeah, they do have pretty good.
The
seat sizes for sure.
I can relate.
But you know, Southwest's seats are actually larger than Delta's. Like there's a chart, if I can find it, I'll share it with people. But there's a chart where it broke down like the seat sizes for airlines, and Delta wasn't the largest. I was surprised by that too. But where were we? Oh, Cuba. Cuba's still my favorite because it's one of the few places where I felt like I was in a completely different place.
ATL, Georgia. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we are. But yeah, that's still my favorite so far. And like I said, Guatemala really shocked me, and I had a great time down there.
I think my favorite, it's kind of cliche, but it's Amsterdam. Not because of what people would think, because I really don't do that, but
we're in Decatur, right?
We're in Decatur, where it's great, where it's not greater.
It's nice over here.
It's nice, but it's not like Decatur.
Whatever.
But yeah, I like Amsterdam because, like I said, not because of the reason that people would think, but I think it's a sustainable place. Like a lot of what they do is green energy based and
herbal.
They're herbal, yeah, very herbal.
Yes, a lot of
greenery and mushrooms and stuff like that. That's a whole nother conversation. But one thing I liked about Amsterdam, I went to the market on a Saturday morning, and all you saw was bikes. People on their bikes just going here to there and actually transporting themselves on bikes.
He owns 2 Hallmark stores here in Georgia.
Oh, nice to meet you guys. Hey, you got to stop by. Where are they located?
Yeah. So we can patronize.
I think it's one in Lenox.
Or if you want to host us for
you can host us for a layover. We would love to, patronize a Black-owned business. So yeah, let us know. Slide in my DMs.
Slide in her DM.
Or one of their DMs.
You said one in Alpharetta.
How long did you stay in Amsterdam?
I was there for maybe like a week, I think.
In Savannah.
Oh, Savannah.
Nice. Love Savannah.
So he said he has one in Alpharetta and one in Savannah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, slide in the DMs. How
long did you stay in Amsterdam?
It was for like 4 days. It wasn't a whole week. Oh yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. Like I think 4 days is a good, because you don't want to stay there too long because there's so many other places to go around it.
And try to catch a train to like Rotterdam too.
Yeah, Rotterdam
Rotterdam's supposed to be like the up and coming, but not in a cliche kind of way, but another dope spot.
Did you do any
day trips?
I just pretty much, I went to the, it was like a museum next to the hotel. It was a Chopin museum. I did of course, the Anne Frank house.
That's cool.
It's a couple of ferry rides that they take
you around.
They have
a free walking tour that's really good too. That you should really do.
I'm new to social media, but is it too personal to leave my email with you guys?
Actually, you should leave it with us. If you go onto Instagram, you can follow either Black and Broad or Rachel Travels, and you can
Rotterdam.
You can send us a DM that way. Because we're not going to be able to see it. It's going to disappear.
And we don't want anybody to spam you.
Yeah, we don't want anyone stealing your information.
So I guess that's probably a good note to close on. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't already done so, follow Rachel all over the place.
And if you guys are interested in staying up on these flight deals that we keep talking about, you can go on my Instagram page right now. I have a subscription service called Rachel Alerts. So I have
Get your Rachel Alerts
that will send you all of the deals as soon as they happen, and they're sent via text, not via email. So you're not going to miss it if you don't check your email all day. Like me, I check my email twice a day. So it's in the morning and the evening. So if you're interested, Rachel Alerts.
Yeah, Rachel Alerts. Not Rachel's Alerts. Rachel Alerts.
Yes, go on Instagram. It's at Rachel Travels on Instagram, and all the information you need is there. And Eric, show them your shirt, your sweatshirt and hat.
Get yours right now. We had a sale yesterday for our anniversary, birthday anniversary. I have to make an Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can follow us on every social media outlet.
Ever.
The easiest way to find us is to search the hashtag blackandabroad. It'll take you to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/we are blackandabroad. It'll take you to our Instagram page, which is @blackandabroad. Our Snapchat is @blackandabroad. Our Twitter is BLK for Black and Abroad. And of course, our website where you can find all of our products as well as
amazing travel guides.
Yes, and stories from Black travelers about their experiences abroad. And that website is www.weareblackandabroad.com. This week, actually, later on
www.weareblackandabroad.com.
Yep. Here, I'll type it in the group or in the chat so everybody can see it.
And just to piggyback on that, guys, like we have some really good content on there for people that actually are in these places. Like we got a guy that's traveling Europe right now, and he's basically going to be updating us the whole time while he's there. We got a guy who just came back from Cartagena, Colombia, and what is his name? The Wayfarer Project. He's got some dope pictures and videos and all kinds of good stuff on there. So Drew, Jet Set Drew, he contributes as well. Yeah, so
I did an interview with Jet Set Drew on my blog as well. So there's some amazing people out here traveling the world. Drew actually lives in Sweden right now, and he lived in the Philippines. So if you want to check out the article, you can go on We Are Black and Abroad and Rachel Travels. So anything you need related to travel between the three of us, we got it. We your resource. And then there's other travel brands out there that we love to support as well. So, come over and connect with us so we can be besties.
Yeah, we're always looking for contributors. Like, if you have a really dope experience or a story, we'd love to get it and share it with our followers. One of the stories we have coming up was a girl who took a road trip with her friend. She lives in Germany. She's there now. Stationed there, but she and one of her friends from school took a road trip to Amsterdam, and their whole experience there, driving through 4 countries in a matter of a couple of hours, and
on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's intense.
Yeah. So her whole experience with driving abroad, her trip to Amsterdam was really dope. We're gonna be featuring our experience in Sydney in the coming days. Some of the dope spots that we found to stay, to eat, to
some of the art.
Yeah,
I love the art.
So where you guys are going this week?
Oh, and then
Bogota, Colombia.
We'll be in Bogota.
It's gonna be raining the whole time, but it's some good content on the way from there.
And next week I'll be heading to Iceland, so it should be quite interesting because it's gonna be a little chilly.
Is this your first time?
My first time in Iceland.
It's beautiful.
I heard it's really nice. So, anyway, we love you guys. A special shout out to the Purple Corkscrew, which is a Black-owned wine store and lounge here in Avondale Estates, which is also Decatur, Georgia. So, if you are in the Atlanta area, please make sure to come by here and have a nice glass of wine, sit, chill, and we will be talking to here. What?
Yeah. Oh, and let me shout out Purple Corkscrew one more time. This Saturday, they're having a wine tasting and a cheese tasting. So you can definitely come out on Saturday. Go to their website. I believe it's purplecorkscrew.com. And they have more information about that. They also do like a vinyl and chill day where you can bring your own bottle and bring your own records, and they also have their own. They do an event here as well. But
Nice.
like I said, Saturday.
Good date idea. Okay, fellas, if you're listening, I'm trying to plug you.
She giving you cheat sheet right here.
I'm trying to tell you.
So definitely let Stephanie know that we sent you the Rachel or Black and Abroad. But definitely come hit the spot out. I have come up on a whole bunch of dope wines because of Stephanie's advice. So definitely support great Black businesses such as this one, such as Rachel Travels, and of course, Black and Abroad. All right.
All right. We love y'all. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.